Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Clickbait and Coffee. We're going to give it a minute. Ground fog was in here at 9:05 last night. Shelly was in here at Two Old Crows Homestead. Michael Hamilton and Chantel, good morning. Guys, if you can hear me, give me a 2x4 in the chat. I'm trying to get my laptop fired back up. For some reason, it was not connected on the internet. So I restarted it, and now I'm like, holy crap. All right. Let's see if we're working now. All right. Chantel, thank you. Michael, thank you. All right. Man, I tell you what. All right. Shelly says we can hear you now. All right. 3-day weekends are fun, but yesterday I thought it's thrown me off. Is anybody else thrown off? I mean, it feels like today is Monday. And it just, I like having 3-day weekends, but man, it absolutely just screws everything up. And it's going to be a short week this week. So, but does it screw anybody else up? And, cause I was sitting there yesterday, we went, I was gone all weekend and got back, Sunday night. 9 o'clock, something like that. Got back. We ran into town, ate dinner. They had waited on me. And I told him, I was like, Monday we'll do whatever you want to do, Lincoln. He's like, okay. He came up with a plan. He was like, can we go to Dave & Buster's? And I was like, yeah, we'll go to Dave & Buster's. Dave & Buster's is fun. There's one down in at Opry Mills in Nashville. And so we're going to go down there. And then I was talking to Greg New yesterday morning before we left, and he was like, man, there's a Dave & Buster's in Clarksville. And I was like, I didn't know that. And he was like, yeah. So he sent me the link and showed me where it was at. And I was like, well, heck, I would rather drive to Clarksville than drive down to Nashville because Opry Mills is getting pretty nasty. They've had some gunfires and some shootings and stuff like that and everything. So let me... All right. So I was like, shoot, I will drive down to Clarksville. And then so Lincoln comes in. He's like, can my buddy so-and-so come? And I'm like, I guess. So we ended up taking Lincoln and one of his buddies down to Dave & Buster's in Clarksville. And they had a good time down there about half the day, and then came back to Bowling Green, went and took them for a late lunch, early dinner, and they had a heck of a time. So that was what we did yesterday. And then I came back and I was like stinking wiped out. It's like 8:30 at night. And I'm like, I am absolutely dead tired. I was like, I'm about ready to go to bed. And then I was like, crap, tomorrow's Tuesday. I was like, we got the show. So I had to come in, get everything ready, or at least set it up and everything. So I don't have a ton of stuff this morning, but I will tell you, I was going to talk about TAC response because I went down there. We'll talk about that here in a few minutes, but I wanted to remind everybody, and if somebody tell me what y'all did this weekend. I talked to Shelly just a little bit. She's got a couple things going that we're working on, but what did everybody do for the weekend? I'd like to know because it was a long weekend, kind of the end of summer kind of deal. Greg Skeens, good morning. All right, let's see what Michael Hamilton. The Tourons have left Kinawa. Insert dancing bananas here. Back down to 2 people per square mile. All right. What was going on up there? All right. Greg started rebuilding chicken coop. Well, I tell you, since it's starting to get cooler, I've got a bunch of projects that I've got to start working on. Good morning, Bill. Bill, what'd you get done this weekend? And Michael says the Summer Invaders. All right. So everybody goes back home then. Chantel went to a singles church event. Well, that sounds fun. We've got Tune In. I think Tune In is this weekend at church. It's where the kids, the first graders through 5th or 6th graders do like a lock-in at the church and stuff like that. And I think we've got to run down and do breakfast for them Saturday morning. So, but guys, don't forget who all watched. Well, yeah, pretty much everybody on here watched on Friday with Jessica, Combat Midwife. I like talking to her. She's got some good knowledge. And don't forget, she's going to be here October 25th in Bowling Green to do her midwife and birthing class. So you can get tickets for it. On the website, there's a link on the website that will take you to her website. She's handling all the tickets through her website. So if you want to get a spot for that, run over and check that out. Also, the one I'm super excited about is Mike Atkins is coming November 8th and 9th to do land navigation class. That's going to be at Barren River State Park, essentially Barren River Lake. It's technically Lucas, Kentucky. It's right in between Scottsville and Glasgow, right on 31E. So I'm excited about that. That's going to be a fun class. We're going to do land navigation stuff. Also, Brian and Susan from S&B Homestead Radio are going to be up there, and they're going to be running all our communications for us. So if you come to the land nav, you can also talk to Brian and Susan a little bit about some radio stuff. And we're trying to get everything squared away and a date set for Brian and Susan to come up to do a 2-day communications class where we mess with all kinds of radio stuff. We've got to sit down with them and figure out what dates they can be here. It's most likely going to be after the first of the year because we got Combat Midwife October and then Land Nav in November. December 6th, Leslie is going to do an advanced herbal class for us. That's going to be at Western where we have the festival. That's going to be a 1-day class, and that'll be December 6th. So all that stuff is on the website. So run over there and take a look at it. And Camo Dad, good morning. How are you this morning? And then let's see, Bill, I didn't do much of anything. I used some scrap leftovers from the pig house and built a planter box for the rosemary plant that desperately needed transplanting. Well, and Bill did get the yards mowed. Well, at least you did that. I tell you what, it's so dry here that I'm not going to have to. It's been 2 weeks since I've mowed, and the grass has not even grown hardly whatsoever. We have not had rain in weeks, and it is just everything's getting crunchy. And I'm like, this really sucks. And I don't want to burn up. I don't want to burn up a bunch of the pastures just because they're crunchy. So I stuck a round bale out, and I'm letting the animals eat a round bale right now just because I don't want to let them burn everything up. Lynn, good morning to you. Yes, and Shelly put that up. You need to follow Leslie on our YouTube and Facebook. It's the School of Earth and All. And Leslie's amazing on the stuff that she puts in there. She has got so much knowledge. I'm excited about her class. I mean, it's going to be beyond the basics of herbalism. So sign up for it. Everything's on the website. And Bill says, we finally got a little rain this morning. I think there's a chance of rain this week for us. I'm not 100% sure. And I'm going to look and see. Well, now today it says 55% chance. And then we've got a few chances of rain here and there this week, but it's not looking too promising. It would be nice if we had like 2 days of steady rain. So to get us back, I would enjoy that so much. Plus, because I'm working inside, so it doesn't really matter. Camo Dad, it's been a slow start. I'm off for a change and just starting coffee. Well, enjoy your day if you're off work, but I guarantee you got stuff to do at your house, so it won't be an off day doing stuff like that. Heck, I've still got so much crap to do here, finish up the painting on the house, all that kind of stuff. I'll tell you, I dread doing all that crap, but it's one of those things that's got to get done. Let's see. Shelly says there have been a bunch of field fires around our area due to the dryness. Yeah. Uh, there's been a couple field fires and stuff like that here, but I tell you, it's good. They started shelling corn the other day here, and I mean, they've had awesome weather to be shelling corn because it stayed dry and everybody was just bumping and going. And of course, the way I go down to Camden, Tennessee, I run down through Clarksville and go down that way. And you're going through Russell, Logan County, and then you're going into Todd County. And Logan County and Todd County are big agricultural spots. I mean, a lot of row crop stuff. And as you're driving down through there, I mean, it seemed like every other truck that you passed and every other vehicle you saw was a grain truck hauling corn. And you look across the field and there's just combines everywhere. And it's like boom, boom, boom. Corn harvest is in full swing and they're going to town with it. So then Bill says, according to Ryan Hall, we're supposed to be getting pretty cold real soon. Well, and then Shelly said she was just watching that. I have not watched that yet. I need to tune in and see what he's got going on. Usually I watch some of his videos. Most of the time I wind up just watching his lives. So, but hey, what's everybody got planned for this week? Stuff I've got planned for this week. I'm still working at my brother's house. I've got to, there's something. I was kicking something underneath here. I've got to, one thing, and I'm not going to get to do it today because I've got to pick I got to pick Lincoln up from school this afternoon because my wife is doing something and going to be busy with work. So I got to pick him up. But on remodeling my brother's house, his in the laundry room is the hot water heater. And I told him, I'm like, we got to figure out how to do this to where you still got hot water, down for the day. And of course he works, at school. So I was going to do it today, but I don't have time to get all of it done. I've got all the tile except for a little spot where the hot water heater's at. And I told him, I was like, hey, I'm going to tile everything, get it done, leave that one little area where the hot water heater's at. Man, I am still tired, and I don't know why. But so what I've got to do to replace the floor underneath the hot water heater, get all my plumbing supplies there, pull the drain the hot water heater, disconnect it, pull it out of the way, tear the existing floor up, put down cement board like you should, then lay the tile. I'm going to use, it's a rapid set thin set that sets up in like an hour or something. So lay those, I think there's 4 or 5 tile. Lay those jokers real quick with rapid set thin set, wait an hour or two, grout it, clean everything up. And then a couple hours after that, slide the hot water heater back in, reconnect all of it. And then he'll have hot water, so he won't be without hot water but for a day. But it's one of those jobs that you've got to plan some time, and getting started late from doing the show and then running and picking up Lincoln. It's like, I don't have time to do it today, so we're going to put it off until tomorrow. So, but there's plenty of other stuff to do at his house. So I'll go down there. I've got some drywall to finish patching and stuff like that, some baseboard to put in and all that. So I'll spend the day doing that, then run pick Lincoln up at about 2:30 or 3 is when I pick him up. Let me see. Camo Dad. Packing, cleaning, and moving stuff into the house from New York to get it sold. Well, have a good time with that. Packing and cleaning. That is not fun whatsoever. Let me see. Bill. The polar vortex is unstable and sending the cold Arctic air down from Canada. All right, let's see. I want to look and see what it says, what we're going to get. Well, it shows the next few days. I mean, we're going to be Friday. Yeah, it's going to get a little cooler, but nothing horrible. I mean, it doesn't look like, but of course, this is the Weather Channel. Oh, and then only 19 days until piglets. Well, Bill, I hope everything goes good with the piglets. And hey, also talking about pigs, I went down to TAC Response this weekend, did their immediate action medical class. And after that, Kayla and Kayla is the one that teaches the immediate action medical class. It's James's daughter. I was talking to her about classes and different stuff like that. And she asked me, she goes, remember when you were on the live with me? And I was like, yeah. She's like, our people that were on there were talking about homesteading and stuff like that. She goes, what if you and Shelly came down and did a pig processing class at Tactical Response? I was like, if you think your people would like it, I'm game to do it. I was like, let me clear it and see if Shelly'd be wanting to do it. And so we are going to, and I called Shelly Sunday afternoon when I left, and I was talking to her about it. She's like, yeah. She's like, we can do that. So I was like, okay, cool. So it looks like after the first of the year, January, February, or March, something like that, we're going to run down to Tactical Response and do a pig processing class down there for them. So I'm excited about it. The only part I'm not excited about is the logistics of getting everything set up and ready to go down there. And I like doing stuff at my house or Shelly's house just because we've got all the supplies. And it's hard to forget stuff if it's at your house. It's like, oh, I left this up in the house. I've got, 100 yards to run pick it up as opposed to 2.5 hours to get something. So be on the lookout for that. If y'all want to do a processing class at Tactical Response, let me know. And Kayla and I are going to talk this week and see about setting something like that up. So, all right. Tactical Response. I went down there and did the immediate action medical. Super good class. I'm going to give it a 5-star review. I've been through several medical classes before, so I didn't go in there not knowing anything. I met, it was a smaller class. There was going to be 6 of us, and one guy did not show up. So I don't understand that. So it is what it is. But there ended up being 5 of us in there. Anthony is a guy from Kansas City. He drove in from Kansas City to take the class. Joe is another guy that was there. He was from Eastern Kentucky or Eastern Tennessee. I forgot what city he said, but he was over from East Tennessee. And then Perry and Kim were from Indiana, somewhere around, I think, close to Indianapolis. But they were there. Awesome bunch of people. I mean, I had a great time. I stayed down in the team room for the weekend. Me and Joe were the 2 people staying in the team room, so we got to hang out and talk. But went down there Friday night, got down there later than what I thought I was going to. I was planning on getting down there a lot earlier, but it was 9:30, almost 10 o'clock when I got down there. But got down there Saturday morning, woke up, class started right around 8 o'clock. Kayla came in. We covered a lot of material on that in that class. We went over tourniquets, chest seals, wound packing, pressure bandages, decomp needles, NPAs. Went over head injuries, some stuff like that. Went over a lot of scenarios and everything. What else did we go over? And I've been to several medical classes before. I've been to some Stop the Bleed, stuff like that. Been to Chuck's class with Homestead Medical. Chuck did his 2-day class up here. But we've been to a lot of that. Tourniquets, one thing, she gave us RATS tourniquets. I'd never used a RATS tourniquet before in my life. They're fairly easy to put on. I can see the times when people would want to use a RATS tourniquet. The nice thing about the RATS tourniquet is it can get smaller, and if you need to use it, they say you can use it on canines, or it's good for children, for smaller children, because like your cat tourniquet, all my cats are sitting over there. We'll get it later. But your cat tourniquets will only go down so small, and your soft T tourniquets will only get so small. So the RATS will go down really, really super small on kids. But we used the rats tourniquets for for this weekend. Like I said, never used them before. They're pretty good. Personally, it took some getting used to because I'd never used one before. I've used cat tourniquets and soft T tourniquets, so it was a learning curve for sure. Because with the rats, essentially you've got it's a rubber tube that's got nylon woven around it, and I don't have it. It's up in the truck, but essentially you've got a long, you got a long piece of rubber that's encapsulated in nylon, like woven nylon, and you've got a hook clasp on it, and you take it and you wrap it around the limb, and you're pulling tight each time as you're doing it. Then you're hooking it in, so it does pretty good. And excuse me for just a second. I have to text someone. My wife was calling, and she knows I've got a live this morning, so I got to make sure everything's okay with them. So, but yeah, so you twist the rat's tourniquet around, pulling as tight as you can each time, and then it's got a hook that you hook it into, which yeah, it worked pretty decent. I mean, I would keep one around just to do it. The only bad thing is one of the times, like if you're trying to put it around somebody's thigh, I was putting it on Joe one time and came around, and you didn't have enough. It's got like this kind of W looking piece to latch it into on your last turn. Like I could not get it. I had to come back around and let a wrap off of it, and then pull that wrap tighter just to get it to where it would go on, because if you didn't get that last wrap, it was not tight enough on there. So there's some advantages and disadvantages on it. Personally, for me, I'm going to stick with the cats and the soft T, just because you can take those things, slide them on, pull it as tight as you can, and Velcro it, and then you start turning the windlass. I just like it personally. I saw some people had trouble with it. If you don't have a lot of hand strength and stuff, pulling as tight as you can on that rat's tourniquet is kind of a no-go, but do with it what you want. I'm going to keep that rats and play with it some more. Somebody could probably get pretty proficient on it if they kept going and kept going. So we messed. Next, after we went over tourniquets, we did chest seals, and talking about chest seals, stuff like that. On if you got a penetrating wound, how you need to seal the pleural space, what to look for, that kind of stuff. We did some improvised chest seals. We were using fold flat duct tape and plastic as far as like packaging. I mean, let me see. I don't have any. I mean, yeah, anything a non-permeable barrier. If you got anything like this, you can improvise this as a chest seal with duct tape. The duct tape, I mean, even like this piece of plastic, you could improvise it if you had to make a chest seal. Is it as good as having a chest seal? In my opinion, no, it's not as good as having a chest seal ready to go. Personally, I would rather have a chest seal, just because the chest seals stick a lot better than duct tape. But if you're in an environment where you do not have chest seals, but you've got duct tape and some kind of plastic, improvise and get a chest seal on that person to seal up the pleural space. So we went over doing a lot of stuff like that. The first day we went over wound packing, taking your, oh crap. And I put everything up, taking your gauze, packing gauze, how to properly pack a wound, how to keep pressure on it. And then after you got all your gauze in there that'll fit, how to take and put a pressure bandage around that wound to hold the gauze and hold pressure on it. Like I said, I've been to some classes before. I knew that, a lot of times on a big wound, one pack of gauze is not going to do it. But it really surprised these people when they were packing the wound and they ran out and they're like, it's not all the way packed. And Kayla's like, yeah, that's one of the important things, as far as having enough gauze. A lot of people are like, oh, I've got 3 packs of gauze in my truck. That's cool. You've got enough to maybe pack one big serious wound. So gauze, buy as many gauze as you can. Gauze are stinking cheap, honestly, especially if you're not buying the high-speed compression gauze. If you're buying just regular roll gauze, we've got them. Let me see. Let's pull it up. Let me find it. All right. Let me find how much gauze are on the website. All right. Sterile gauze rolls, 4.5-inch gauze by 4.1 yards are $1.44 a piece on our website. You can get them a little bit. If you buy a case of 100, you've got them for 100 in a case is $112. So, guys, there's no excuse not to have enough gauze on there. It's like 100. You're looking at $1.12 a piece, somewhere right there. If you buy them in the case-like quantities, that's a no-brainer. You should have cases and cases of gauze. So, and then Bill, I learned a lot from Combat Midwife on Friday. Yeah, she's a real wealth of knowledge. I'm excited about her coming in and teaching that class. It's going to be a good day and everything. It's going to be fun because I know absolutely nothing about midwife stuff and birthing, so I'm going to sit there and get soak all that in. And then Shelly right there, she put the link up to where you can get gauze. But so we did wound packing, stuff like that. Gauze are cheap. If you buy them by the case from us, you can get it for like $112 and some change plus shipping. So, and of course, all your tourniquets, we got all our tourniquets on there, all our IFACs and all that kind of good stuff. We've got all those on the website, set and ready to go. And I don't know, have y'all seen and have I showed you? This is our vehicle medical bag, but I want to show you the leather patch. Is that not cool? Everybody's doing all these. Everybody's doing, the PVC, the rubber patches, and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, let's be a little bit different. Let's do a leather patch. So Jeremy at Hot Brass Clothing Company did those patches for us. We've got just a couple right now. But I've got about a dozen more coming in the mail. They should be here in the next day or so. So all your IFACs and your vehicle med bags now come with a super duper leather pouch that it's got a Velcro back on it. Awesome stuff. So those are on there. I love those things. And I just think it makes the bags and the IFACs look so much better. So, but everything's on the website. Get it, go check it out. If you got questions, email me or email Shelly, and then we can get you set up with all your medical supplies. Let me see. Bill says, I know that you said this many times in the past. When do you start lambing? Bill, I don't know when we're going to start lambing. I have not looked at the ewes in a few days to see. I don't plan it. I just I leave the ram in year round with him. When he wants to do his thing, he does his thing. And I can look at the ewes and see when they're starting to get big. And then I can tell when it's super close when they start bagging up in the back. So I don't know. I'm going to have to check and see. It still might be a while. A lot of the times lambing won't start until it's a lot cooler. So it might be several more months before we have any lambs. So, but when it gets closer, if you want to know, Bill, I will let you know. And Shelly says they usually go into heat towards the end of the month. And it might, I mean, I tell you this much, I know, because I've got a couple rams in there. Some of them are going to go to the freezer. My breeding rams not, but they have been sniffing those ewes hard. So some of them already might be bred, and they might have been bred earlier this year. So I just don't really know. But I know they've been sniffing around and been fighting each other, and all over some of these ewes. So as it gets a little bit closer, Bill, I'll let you know. So, all right. First day, attack response, we covered that. We covered essentially bleeding stuff that was going to kill you within a minute or somewhere around that time. So we were putting on tourniquets, doing stuff like that. It was cool. Every now and then Kayla would be teaching and she's like, tourniquet left arm. So you're like grabbing your tourniquet, sticking it on there. She would come around and check and all that stuff. If you'd done it right, timing everybody, stuff like that. We did a few scenarios the first day. She would take a couple of us and go in there and be like, hey, you've got an injury. You've got an injury on your left thigh. And then the other person has an injury, a gunshot wound on their right arm. So we were actors, and we would lay down and, oh my gosh, I've got, somebody shot me, my leg's bleeding. So we would run in, take care of that, put a tourniquet on, do any kind of wound packing or pressure bandage on there, and then move them out of the area. One of the big things that attack response does with that is also get off the X. A lot of the TACMED stuff, they'll just teach how to do this. But if you come in on a situation where somebody has been attacked, you want to get that person out of the area where the attack happened. They call that the X. So I went in. She was like, it's like a crime just happened here. You've got to get them off the X. So you would have to move that person. You'd have to get underneath them and drag them. And then once you drug them out of harm's way, then you're going to start doing your treatment and assessing those people. So that was one of the cool things about it. And it does, you kind of sit there and some people are like, well, this is going to be kind of hokey. They're just in the next room. But honest to goodness, it will get your adrenaline up. And your heart, you start breathing faster, your heart starts beating faster, and you're just like, this is fun. I enjoy doing this. So we'll talk about the scenarios a little bit more here in a few minutes. But we covered that, went through a lot of stuff, a lot of good questions from people. I picked up several nuggets here and there, stuff that I had forgotten or stuff that I did not learn in some other classes. And then Sunday, we came back down, started right around 8 o'clock. We went over, started out with NPAs and your breathing. So everybody did. The rule is with the NPAs, she was like, we're going to put these in people's noses. You don't have to participate if you don't want to, but the rule is if you give one, you have to take one. So essentially, if you gave an NPA, put an NPA in someone's nose, you had to let someone else do it to you. So that was kind of the deal. So everybody went through and did all of it. Everybody got an NPA except for Kim. She didn't want to, but it was kind of funny. She really wanted to do one. And so I was the first one to go. I let Anthony do one on me. And then I sat back down and kind of, quote, recovered. I mean, it makes your nose, it kind of stretches your nose out. It just makes you feel funky and everything, like you're swallowed, your throat and stuff's a little funky feeling. So I sat back and relaxed. And then Perry, Kim's husband, was the last guy to get one. So I think it was, it was Perry's turn, Kim's husband. And they were like, Jason, go ahead and do this. And I'm like, Kim, do you want to do it? And she was like, kinda. And then Kayla was like, well, the rule is that if she gives one, she's got to take it. She was like, I don't want to take one. I was like, I will give up my spot and let you do that to your husband. I was like, I've done NPAs before, but if you really want to do it, and do it, and you can do it on your husband. So she was excited that she got to do one and didn't have to get one shoved up her nose. Yeah, Bill. Yes, Bill. We will talk about that in the spring, and then we'll see what we've got as far as lambs to trade for piglets and stuff like that. So, but so everybody did NPAs. Everybody hated it. It was funny to watch the people do it. It's kind of nerve wracking when you're sitting there doing it on somebody, but it was a good time. We ended up talking decomp needles. A lot of people will not teach decomp needles just because they're like, it's super. People are like, it's scary. You could kill somebody doing something with an NPA or with a decompression needle. Yeah, you could kill somebody doing it, but if you're gonna have to be doing it totally wrong. So we practiced decomp needles on some balloons and stuff like that. I knew a little bit about decomp needles before. I'm not an expert in decomp needles by far and whatsoever, but I did learn a lot more. I'm not near as worried about if I have to do that to someone. If I need to, I can do that. So we did that, everything. We went over as far as veins, bleeding, venous bleeding, stuff like that. If you've got any kind of holes in your, essentially holes from your neck to your belly button, kind of how to fix stuff like that, seal everything up like that. If you've got intestines hanging out, what to do with that, how to get that. And all of this class was how we keep you alive until we elevate you to a higher level of care. This is not like, oh my gosh, you've got an arterial bleed. We're going to put a tourniquet on and then we're going to get in there and fix it. It's none of that. We're going to fix you and get you stabilized so we can get you to a higher level of care is what that was. The last part of the class, and we ran a lot of scenarios and stuff like that. So we were constantly changing it up. And as we were running the scenarios, we were going and building on what everybody had learned before. So the very first scenarios we ran was just nothing but bleeding. Essentially you were going to go in there, you're going to put a pressure bandage or a tourniquet on somebody. So then after we started learning, after you got the NPA and you're looking about breathing and you're looking about chest wounds, and then also a decomp needle, you've got that. You've got patient assessment. Kayla went over the whole patient assessment, showed everyone exactly how to do a patient assessment after you had dealt with major wounds, going over feeling every part of this person's body on how to do that and why you need to do that, because sometimes you miss a small wound. So you've got to go over and do that. But as we did as we kept learning and going over more stuff, we would add stuff to the scenario. So when you're coming in on this scenario now, you have to worry about also major bleeding. You have to worry about some kind of breathing problem. You have to worry about a sucking chest wound, something like that. So you've got multiple things you're looking at. And then also you throw in the aspect of, hey, the bad guy might still be in the room. So you have to watch and keep your head on a swivel as you're treating that person. You have to be looking around, making sure you don't become a victim on that. So final scenario that we did is we all went in the back room. So we had the whole basement, the whole team room available to us. Kayla had set up a scenario, and she comes in and tells us, hey, this is a scenario. And so we go out. The basement is pretty well dark. Thank goodness we had some flashlights in our pockets, stuff like that, where we could see. The quote victims of this are yelling and screaming. Kayla is telling us what's going on. The scenario we've got to get, we don't know how many people are in there. We have to figure out how many people are injured, what is wrong with them, and the scenario is changing as we go. So we wind up from the basement going outside. There's a threat outside. People still are getting injured, and we're having to treat we're having to treat ourselves and also treat the victims that were initially injured in the accident, and get them outside. You have to call 911, do your 911 call, and that's another thing. 911. She went over what to do on a 911 call, and it's funny. And we'll touch on the 911 call in a minute. Just remind me, and we will. But so we had to do the 911 call outside. We got everything settled. She was like, ceasefire, the simulation's over. We go back inside and debrief. And we started talking about it, and I had like a huge adrenaline dump after that. My head was hurting, and she goes, "You were not breathing like you were supposed to." She said, "I watched, and you were holding your breath sometimes as you were doing this stuff." And she's like, "That's one of the reasons you've got a headache." And she goes, "That scenario lasted," she's like, "I timed it." She said, "It lasted 15 minutes. I was like, "You have got to be kidding me, Kayla." I said, "It only felt like 3, maybe 5 minutes of what we were doing." She goes, "No." She said, "I timed it." She said, "It was 3 minutes." And she goes, "That shows like your time when you're in a situation like that. It just shows how time can either go super fast or it can go super slow and everything when your adrenaline's going, stuff like that." I was like, it felt like literally 3 to 5 minutes. So that was fun. Everybody loved it. 911 calls. Even doing, when we were doing these scenarios, just the small scenarios, it was funny. We had went over what to do on a 911 call and everything, how to handle it, that stuff, what to tell them, what not to tell them, and stuff like that. We would still screw up the 911 calls just in practice. Even though there's no life-threatening injuries, we were just pretending on this. People would get so excited and such an adrenaline rush, they're messing up on doing the 911 calls. It was funny. One of the guys called the victims the perpetrators, and just got everything just bass-ackwards saying that. And it was funny to watch that, and then it was funny to watch it and hear it after everything's gone through. But then you're like, "Holy crap! I totally messed that up." So, immediate action medical was a good class. I was excited to take it. Had an awesome time. Met some really good people. I got to meet Kayla and talk to her. And then, like I said, we're probably going to do a pig processing class down there at TAC Response later on, first part of the year. She'd asked me about it. I think it's going to be fun if we can pull that off. We're probably going to do some more stuff with TAC Response. I enjoyed meeting her and Joey, and super nice people. I gave it a 5-star on their stuff. I mean, TAC Response, I think, has been in business since 1996. So it's not a fly-by-night company whatsoever. I mean, you've been in business almost 30 years. So you're doing something right for sure. But I had a good time. It was fun. And that's about all I've got to ramble on. I like the class. We've got some stuff coming up that we're working on as far as some more workshops with us. So stay tuned for that. If you need any medical first aid stuff, hit us up on the website. Everything is pretty much in stock and ready to ship out. Then also check out the workshops we've got going. Like I said, we got Combat Midwife in October, Land Nav in November, and then the herbal class with Leslie in December. So everything's on the website. I've got to go and get to work and get some stuff done for the rest of the day. But if you need anything, shoot me an email or shoot Shelly an email. And I will see y'all on Friday. I appreciate y'all a bunch. And if you need anything, like I said, shoot us an email. Y'all be careful this week. Have a good time. Hopefully you enjoy the weather. And hopefully it's going to rain a little bit this week. I know we need it. But guys, I appreciate it. And I'll see y'all Friday. Have a good day.